Okay, we're now in our special session. Our executive session to interview candidates has completed, and we've opened the meeting up, the Board of Works meeting up, to decide and to promote someone to the rank of sergeant. So, before we look for a motion, I just want to speak on behalf of all 5 of them that they all did not only a good job with their interview, but they also represent our staff very well. They're all, I think, very well respected in the community and by their peers. Other discussion before a motion comes out?
Nope. I don't.
Craig, you got anything you want to say on?
No, not at this time. We interviewed some really good candidates. It was really good.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Bill, if you want to throw a motion on the floor, or
I'll make a motion to promote Kevin Gerber as our 3rd shift sergeant.
well, not necessarily our 3rd shift to replace our 3rd shift sergeant Shay Beaver. What shift he'll actually work will be determined by what the other ranking sergeants want. And if that is a motion...
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second for promotion of Kevin Gerber. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Okay. Now, having said that, I have spoken to Brent Lehman at the high school, and I told him this could happen, this scenario could happen, and he totally understands. He says, we get the same thing with school teachers. He says they might be the best doggone science teacher we've ever had, but if they have an opportunity to better themselves, he says we encourage it, and we would stand by the city in promoting Kevin. And he asked how long we would be without a resource officer. I told him I really couldn't answer that. You know, it's something that we got to find someone to do it. You know, I shared with him that Kevin wasn't. He didn't volunteer to do it. You know, we had to kind of seek somebody out, and he finally, after giving a lot of thought, he agreed to Greg's request to take the job. So,
well, I'd just like to throw out that through the discussions, I think Derek Loesch would make an excellent SRO officer, and I don't know if it can be done, but I would like to have him actually work for Kevin. He would be under Kevin's direction. Since Kevin is a sergeant, Derek would answer to Kevin.
and I understand that, but I want to make sure that, and in his interview, he kind of indicated that he understood the importance of a resource officer more than the others, actually. If Derek, I would like someone to step up and take that job. We really, you know, it's between these 4, really, because everybody else really doesn't have up to 5 years of service in, so.
Well, I just want to make sure that Derek realizes that this is a form of a promotion. It's not a demotion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That we're putting trust in him as an SRO because we feel that he can relate to the younger people, and he indicated that was very important to him.
In our interviews, let me share this with you. In our interviews, when we talked to Kevin Gerber, one of the biggest reasons he didn't want to go to the school was because he felt like he was being demoted. And that the patrolmen themselves, you know, you go to the police academy and become a police officer because you want to be on the office, you want to be out on the streets, you want to serve and protect the community, and I think maybe there's a little stigma among our guys here that you be the school resource officer and it's not a promotion. And it isn't, not that it's a promotion, but it is so important. And they're probably, the school resource officer is probably the most visible officer we have to our most precious commodity, all the kids,
Well, and I guess my response to that, and I'll pose a question to the board, did you view Kevin's willingness to go there as an important consideration that you took into account in determining he should be the one
That's exactly why he took the sacrifice and did that.
So if anything, the remaining officers should understand that by
doing so.
by doing that, you're showing a commitment and fulfilling a need that ultimately will be recognized at the appropriate time.
I agree.
I hope that's picked up on that microphone over there. Because that's important. It really is.
And something else that you could consider, and obviously it may not happen here, but maybe you also look at the possibility of increasing the pay for the resource officer, so that it isn't viewed as a demotion, that it's highly valued, and it is by virtue of what's being paid.
And I have given that a lot of thought, and I think I shared it with Mike today. I was talking to someone, not mentioning names right now, but I was talking to someone, and I ran that scenario by him, and he said, I think it's probably worth more, but I wouldn't offer it up front. After you have the school resource officer in place, then maybe give it to him. He says, because if you dangle that carrot out to these 4 guys, then it's almost like, he goes, are you going to get the best one, or is the guy going to do it for the money? He goes, I'd rather get the guy that wants to do it and then pay him more than to dangle the carrot out and him take it just for a couple, whatever the additional money is. So I respect that comment. So,
To me, in the future, it might not be a bad idea to make this a path that they go through to be promoted. To train one more additional officer as SRO about every semester. So everybody gets a shot at the high school, gets a chance in the high school. I think it's great. We're touching 1% of our population, guys, in that school. I mean, 800 kids, right around 800 kids, almost a percentage of our, or 10% of our population.
well, it's not just the high school, it's the middle school and grade
I
school,
know.
too.
This is our future.
I can tell you, and speak from experience from my wife's perspective, she truly valued the SRO officer at the school.
Mhm.
She saw many instances where that individual, and it was different individuals while she was there, saw that how effective that was to have somebody there that could help diffuse situations, who could help give some counseling and words of encouragement to kids that needed it. And she felt that was very, very beneficial. So my perception has always been that's a very valuable position on the police force.
It is.
I
Really
might
is.
point out that what you said, Ken, is good, that you don't offer it up front. But then again, if you offer it after the person's been established at the school, you may want to consider some of our other positions within the department that people go and do extra work.
Like for training, being a training leader for this or that.
I'm
What you're
just
saying?
putting it out.
Like what other
Operation
scenarios?
Pullover, you have, Mark spends a lot of time on his own. Is that fair, Mike?
That's correct.
And
Outside of work hours, you mean?
I think he does. He may not admit it, but I think he puts in some times outside of that.
I guess I'm just kind of pointing out that there's other places that we may want to say, okay, they're doing a good job at doing extra things. Maybe we may want to look at a little extra compensation for those positions also.
Okay.
But that's, to me, that's your chief's, a chief's decision, or
Yeah.
a chief?
Oh, yeah.
A chief should promote that function, so.
Okay. Mike, did you say you would call these 5 guys? Is that what you told me, or?
I can if you'd like, sure.
Yeah, if you would. If you'd give all of them a call, if you have the time, and then I'll probably follow up and maybe try to thank each one. I'll especially give Kevin a call as well and tell him we want to work through his transition and have him help us with that as much as he can. Well, do we have to say that tonight? Can we wait until after we...
Good. Let's let him work on that MOU, because he said there were some things he thought needed to be changed in that.
No, there is. Well, long story short, we don't have a contract right now. So,
With the school?
yeah, so we definitely need to revise it.
Unless I don't have the newest copy. That's all I have.
Well, Greg didn't have one today, I don't think, did
It
he?
doesn't automatically roll over.
So with that, if I can determine maybe a starting date early next week for Kevin as to when that will be. I want it to be as soon as possible. But, when we asked him tonight in his interview, how much time do you think you need? He said a couple weeks. Well, I don't think we need a couple weeks. But we might, they're coming up with a fall break here soon. When is that?
Yeah, it's the 3rd week in October.
So next week's the 2nd week. So, at the end of next week might be a good break-off time. So,
Question for the board again.
Yeah.
Because of the change with Greg's retirement and,
the domino thing that could happen.
Domino, is it your intent then that the interviews that you did tonight are going to carry over if there were
Yes.
other positions that needed to be filled?
It was explained to each officer this evening that this interview session tonight would also serve as their interview should another sergeant position open up between now and year end, basically. And they all understood that because of the chief's pending retirement and what could happen as far as a domino effect of promotions. So, all right. Any other discussion? If not, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Greg, say second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. We are adjourned. Thanks for your help, guys.
Thank you.